One of the problems that you'll run into when doing graphs is when you have a graph that maybe you've made out of a table like this, and then you go ahead and you add more to it here, it won't automatically get included in the graph because it's out of the range, the original range. So a way to get around that is to convert this data into what they call a table. And by doing that, and then creating your graph off of that, as you add more data to the bottom of the table automatically expands its range and therefore automatically updates the graph. So it just saves you a little bit of time. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, if I were to, let's say, just take this data here, all right, and then go back into insert, go back into my my column and bar chart area, and I'm going to go with just a two-dimensional one here. Click onto that. I'll get this as a graph, all right, and then later on, let's say I go and I say, okay, I want to add the next month in there, so I'll type in, let's say 2/1/2021, and go ahead and put in there like let's say 40,000 and 10,000, something like that. All right, okay. It doesn't automatically update here. Let me just make that a little wider. It doesn't automatically update. All right, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I've got a different type of format on here. It's still the same as what we see here, but the problem is it's not included. So I'd end up having to click back onto the graph, go over here, pull this down to get that to be included. And that's I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's like, it's kind of inconvenient. So we've got a better way to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit undo a few times here and just kind of get rid of everything here. There we go. Okay. So the trick would be then to go ahead and make this into a table. So what you do is you just kind of click anywhere in the data. You click on the insert. You click on the table. This little window pops up here. All you have to really do is just confirm it. Hit OK. And there you go. You've got a table. That's it. All right. Now we'll click anywhere in the table. You don't even have to select everything. You just click anywhere in the table. Go back into insert. Go back over to your graph. And we'll do our column bar here. And we're going to go with the two-dimensional. And we'll go ahead and pull this over. Maybe make this a little bit wider. Make it a little bit less tall. Kind of even it up there a little bit. And there it is. Now, what I want to do with this as well, just to kind of add some effect here, is I'm going to convert the expenses into a line graph. So I just click anywhere on any one of the orange bars. Go back up into design. Go to my change chart type. Go to my expense and change that from a cluster to a line, just like that. Hit OK. Done. All right. I can go up here and I can type in something like, I don't know, revenue, expense. That'll be fine. All right. So now, here is the beauty of this. Because this is a table, I can now just go right below it, just right there, type in 2/1/2021, and I'm just going to hit my tab key, go over, and you can see it automatically gets included into the graph. The graph doesn't become any wider, it just shrinks down a little bit to then fit in that February number. So now I'll type in, let's say something like maybe 90,000 and 40,000 for the expenses. Now watch this. Hit my enter key. Now I can put the next one in. So now I'll type in 3/1/2021. And here I'll do, let's say, 45,000. And tab it over and type in, let's say, 10,000. There I go. Hit the enter key, and on it goes. So that's pretty cool. See, what I like about that as well is that because I've got this specially formatted, I can actually just type in the date, like I said, like 4/1/2021, and it automatically takes on the format of the existing column. I mean, that's pretty good. I can type in, let's say, 65,000, type in 25,000, hit the enter key, and it expands out even more, but it still stays with that same width. So that's a really good little feature, and it's convenient. Okay, so let's try this on the next one here. We're going to go to the yearly totals here. We're going to make another type of graph out of this, but we're going to use the table again as the basis. Now, keep something in mind, and this has nothing to do with the table, just has to do with the just the way the graph works. If you're going to be using years, and you want the years to be kind of like your label for what this is here, you can't just type in the number 2021, all right? Because what happens is, if you were just to type in 2021 and 2022 and so forth, the program or Excel doesn't know that that's a year. It just thinks it's the year, it's just the number 2021, 2022, and therefore when you go and do the graph, you'll end up getting two bars. You'll get one bar for these numbers, and you'll get a sidebar to that with this. So you'll get pairings of bars. You'll get a bar that's, let's say, representing 2021, and then next to it you'll get the one that's representing the 184, something like that, and then you get the same pairing over and over again for the rest of these. So just make sure, if you're going to be doing stuff like this, that you instead plug in the whole date. So if you were to type in something like 1/1/2021, 1/1/2022, 2023, you can do that. You could type in 1/2021, and it'll still take it. And then what you'll do, because you want it to look like dates, or just like years, you then would go ahead and just select it like this. You go back into your Home tab, go back to your number dialog box, and you tell it that you want to customize this to being YYYY, and that will give you the yearly thing. Because it usually, as a default, it would look like, let me just show you how it would work here. It would look like this initially. See? So you select it, you go back into your number dialog, go to custom, and just go up to here and just type in YYYY, and that's what you'll get. And hit OK, and there we go. And that way, that's what will show up on the graph. All right, so just a little side note there, but it's important. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and convert this into a table. So we just click anywhere on it. We go to Insert. We go to Table. All right, hit OK. There you have it. Click anywhere on it. Go back into Insert. We'll go back over to here again. And this one, we're going to do a three-dimensional one. So we'll click onto here, and there you go. And that's really nice. We've got the all the years in there. Now, a few things we can do with this one. We can go ahead and double-click one of the bars. Go over into the paint bucket over in the panel here. Go over to Fill, and we can tell it that we want to vary the colors by point and do something like that. We did that in one of the last videos that we had put together, so that's not anything new really. All right, and then we'll go ahead and take this and maybe put it over here. We'll squeeze it up a little bit, and we'll go ahead and make it a little bit wider, and there we go. We'll go up here and maybe give it a title, so we'll click up there. We'll call this one, I don't know, we'll call it Key Production. Enter that in, or product, whatever, production, ION. All right, so we got that. So now, the key thing to this then is going to be that I want to add a what we call a data table to this. So we'll click anywhere on the graph again. We'll go over here into the elements, and we'll go to data table, and there we go. And that's it. Now, if you don't really care to have the legend, I mean, it's only one range of data. We know what it is. we really don't need to have that legend in there. You can actually go to the data table and tell it that you want no legends, and that way then it doesn't show that. I mean, it still shows total, but that'll show it. So on each of these, you'll see your numbers. So if we go ahead and make this just a little bit, make a little bit wider there, that looks good. All right. So now here's the fun part about it. I can now go to row 13 here. Now I'll go back and I'll add another year here. So go down right below that one. I can type in 1/2032. Go over like that, and I can type in, let's say, 300, and there it goes. So again, it's more of a convenience thing, because normally I would have had to redo the range of the data. I'd have to go back into the design, and I'd have to go back to my select data and select the additional range. Or, I mean, I can also click onto it, and I could have expanded it by pulling it down too. But again, it's just an interesting aspect there, that's all. All right, let's look at the next one here. We got one more to do here. Now in this one, I'm going to keep the dates just like you see them here, with the month and the day in there along with the year. And what we're going to do here is we're going to graph the date to the total. So we're not going to worry about the in-between numbers there, the actual shift numbers. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll click anywhere in the data. We'll go back into Insert. We'll click on the table, hit OK, and there we go. So that's the first part. And the second part would be, and now in this case, we definitely have to select the area. So we're going to select that range there, all right? Hold on the Control key, and then select that range there, okay? And we'll go back into Insert. We're going to go back into our column and row there. We'll go with the two-dimensional here, and there it is. And we'll do a few fancy things to it here. So while I'm showing you this whole advantage of using the table as the basis, I'm still going to do other aspects to it as well, other features, add to it, kind of get it looking a little bit better. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'll go up to here, and we'll call this one, let's see, we'll call it training articles, okay, and then we'll go ahead and I think we'll double click the bar there so that we can get the different colors, the varying colors, just by that. So we can close that up there. And then the other aspect too, I'm thinking, is that we could put in the actual data labels, the actual values that each of these bars are, all right? Now, you remember how we did that? We went back into the elements. We went over here to the data labels. There they are. Now, what we'll do here is we'll click on the little drop down, or little arrow there. We'll click onto the More Options, and we'll tell it that we want to put these on the inside end. So I'll go down below there. And we want the values, that's fine. And then we also want to turn these at, to go vertical. So we'll click onto here, and we'll go over to the alignment, and then we'll go to the text direction, and we'll tell it we want to go 270. So it'll rotate around like that. Then we can close that up. Now, while these are still selected, we can go back over to Home, make them a little bit bigger, actually a lot bigger. We can make them bold, and I think we'll make them also white. And there we go. That's perfect. Okay, so now we're ready to add another date with the 3 shifts in it. So all we have to do here is just click on to the one right below it here. Type in 1/6/2020. Tab over, we'll type in, let's say, 2000 3,000, 3,400, and there we go. And it automatically totals up because we're using a table, so the formula carries on that. And we also see it appear over on the side there. I'll do one more here. We'll do 1/7/2020, and this will be 2,900, 2,100, 2,400, and then I'll enter it in, and there it goes, and you'll see that add in there as well. If you want to give it a little bit more width here, because maybe it looks a little skinny, we can go ahead and double click one of the bars, and we can then change that gap, bring that thing down, and get a little bit more width in there. All right, so that pretty much takes care of that. So hopefully this will come in handy for what you're doing. Again, it's not, you know, the biggest time saver around, but it does kind of keep it flowing better, I think. So hopefully you liked it, and hope you can use this stuff. Take care.